Day 5. Then actually it's been raining out, so I haven't done anything. Truthfully, I've been too tired to do anything. This is where I'm at right here. My goal for today, I ran out of 2x10s, so I gotta finish framing this window right here. There's gonna be a window right here, and then if you flip it over on this side, this is gonna be the same window right here. So my goal for today is to finish framing this window and then to tear this down. You've already seen how I done it on that side, so I'm not going to show on this side. And then I'm going to use my vibrating saw, because I do got to take a trim off all the way on the top. I got to take that trim off. It's what joins the soffit, the wood soffit, to the main beam, but I'm going to cut it off right here because I'm actually going to put a regular soffit all the way across right there. All right, but here's my one big problem right here, is this was ever since before they broke our door down, then insurance came and put another door in, but this door right here is actually nailed on the main beam right here. Therefore the door is off a little bit, and I gotta figure out, see, they put, there's the main beam right here, this is the main beam, and they put this in to put the door on. So I gotta measure this right here. So I don't know if I'm actually taking this off right here, which I actually should, to put the whole thing right here, then I can put that back onto there. But this right here probably goes all the way down also, and if I do that, this area here more than likely is not going to open up like this. It's probably going to settle. But I told my wife anyways, we're getting a new porch back here. We're gonna put a new porch on here because this porch is old, outdated and everything, and then we're gonna get a new door. This whole side is gonna be all brand new anyways, with another brand new window back there. So either way, let me get started, and let's start off by explaining to you the window and framing a window. So that's what this video probably is gonna be, framing in a window. All right, okay, so today we're framing a window. Let me get all this down. That's actually the window we're framing right here. All right, this right here, what I want to show you, it says rough opening size and actual size. Okay, you actually have to go by this rough opening size. See, it's a 1/2 inch bigger than the actual size of the window, because what that gives you a 1/4 inch to shimmy either way it goes to make it completely level. Now I started framing the window already, and let me get my little measure stick, my little measuring tape, because this is the window that I'm framing right here. It's on the other side of the ladder, and the rough opening size is 36 by 54. And there's a couple different cuts that you need to make for it. And if you're not good with cuts, I'm gonna do another video on the cuts itself. So this is where the window's gonna go right here. So if you see the opening right here, the opening, let me get that right. The opening is right at 36. Well, actually, it's a little bit bigger than 36. Well, it's not bigger because it's the measuring tape is not even. It's kind of stuck in there. So it's 36 right here. See, it's diagonal. That's how you know it's not a proper. It's stuck in there pretty dang good, actually. But this side right here. So see, 36 inches, and we're gonna start with the bottom of it. Okay, so the bottom of it, this I put right here first, all the way up, but this one's actually gonna be cut because this isn't the main stud that's gonna hold the window in place. This is gonna be a cripple. The cripples are the ones that actually hold something up. See, that's a cripple right there. So this stud right here, I believe it's the jack stud, is actually gonna get cut at 54 inches. But I'm not gonna cut it yet at 54 inches. So I put the actual main stud right on this side. So I'm gonna put I ran out yesterday. So the whole length of this side right here is gonna be another main stud, the length. And the other side of this side right here is gonna be another stud, the main stud, the length. And then we're gonna go ahead and make the header, the 2x6 header. And the header is what sits across the whole thing at the top of the window. And it's a 2x6 header, because granted there's no weight pressing on it, but there is going to be some cripples on top of it, and you just don't want those cripples with that weight sitting on top of the window. So that's why you need the main beam, the header, to go across to sit on these right here, so it don't put any pressure at the top of the window, so you can always open it and close it. Now the rough opening is actual the size to leave you where you could put shims in it to kind of center it and everything. But when people seen this, they're probably thinking, oh, this guy don't know what he's doing because I got these beams all the way to the top. Well, I know that's my 36-inch width that it's gonna be, and now I want to put the two on the side of here. Okay, so then after I make my header, I'm gonna line out where my header is gonna be at 54 inches, and with a vibrating saw, I'm gonna cut out the 5.5 for the header on both sides, and then slide the header in. So therefore, at the top, I'm already gonna have a cripple, and then my header is gonna be right in place. I'm gonna nail my header into the other stud that's gonna be on the other side of this. So the bottom part of the window, it says 36 inches. So I know from here to here is gonna be the 3 feet. And it's measured into this beam going all the way to the top. So the bottom is done. I gotta put the other beam on the side and the other beam on the side. Now this is a cripple that's holding this in place. This is the main center part right here, like another cripple holding it in place. And this is another cripple holding it in place. But believe it or not, I gotta do extra cripples down here. I'm gonna do an extra cripple right here and an extra cripple right here, because the 16-inch on center is that line right there. So the 16-inch on center does not line up with this window. So when you're nailing your drywall or nailing your sheathing, you still have to maintain that 16 on center. So I got to put another cripple here and another cripple here, and then on top I'm gonna have to put the extra cripples to maintain that 16 on center. So let's go cut the top piece. We're gonna put this one together, and then I didn't finish this side right here, so I'm gonna put two 2x4s right here, 2x4 right here, 2x4 right here. And like I said, this is how the bottom is. This is two 2x4s right here on top of each other, nailed to the 36-inch apart. I know I needed this 36 inches apart right here. Then with the cripples holding the window, this isn't gonna sag at all. All right, and let me show you from the outside how I measured it. So this outside was all these old windows. They're all sitting in the corner over there taken apart. So what I did is I wanted the window in the center of between this stud and that stud. I wanted the window in the center, but I wanted the exact window right here. So what I did is I drew in everything and measured everything right here from stud to stud. I drew and measured everything right here, but then I transferred it onto right here. It's transferred right here. So now these are all my measurements and cuts that I need. So now when I finish this up and I take this out, of course I could save this piece right here because this is actually the original, but I can also just measure off of this window right here because it's the exact same opening from the stud on this side. Now this window's not centered on this piece because it's going to be a laundry room, mud room. So in the back of there, it's going to have its own light, and that's where the washer and dryer and everything is going to be. So the light's going to come in from here and here. So let me go ahead and I'm going to put just 3 main studs in right now, and then I'll be back with you when I'm doing the header. I figure I show this. I'm not pulling out this cable. This is what the inner cable company did to me. It drives me nuts. They put it right into that stud. It's these half-hats in there, but it drives me nuts because look how dipped low it is. Right now is my chance to change it, but since I didn't, the 2x4 won't butt up against this right here. And the reason why I didn't raise it higher, because all my electrical wires are right up there. So if I do raise it higher, it's probably going to be on that side over there. But meanwhile, I got to put a 2x4 against this, and that's right there. So the 2x4 would not butt up against it. Now I was just going to go ahead with my vibrating saw and just burrow it out right there with my vibrating saw. You see, I did burrow it out. I just want to let you know my vibrating saw went out, so all I did was went back and forth with my reciprocating saw, back and forth, and it burrowed the channel for me to fit this in there. Now if I do raise it, it's going to be raised more towards, I mean, there's excess room. Look how much that's sagging. And this is the actual cable company professional install. I want it higher, so I might raise it higher when I finish framing this side and put it higher up over here. but they didn't go higher on the main stud because of the electrical, but they didn't even get it in right anyways. All right, this last cut before I put the start working on the header, what I wanted to show you was if you got any heads sticking out, make sure you get those in there, because when you're trying to butt up the 2x4 against it, if there's these heads are sticking out, you're not going to be able to put it up against it. Okay, another thing, when you're doing this, to get those in the flush, dang it, make sure you center your beam again and make sure everything's measured square, because these are going to be what your 4x4s are going to sit on for the window. But this is any beam that you're putting against, like that's going against the 4x4. You got to make sure there's nothing sticking out, otherwise you're not going to get a flat flush against it. Alright, I thought I was done ready to talk to you, but I guess I'm not. Alright, I got my main stud up against here. This one's going to be cut at 54 inches to fit the header. Got the main stud all the way to the top in here. This one's going to be cut at 54 inches to fit the header. I got the main stud on the main stud right here, although I'm going to put one more on the inside right here. And while you double up your 2x4s at all the ends, is when you're on the inside you have enough meat to shoot your drywall screws in. Okay, and one more thing I was going to tell you, but I just can't remember right. Oh yeah, this is what sucks, is I was going to go ahead and with the 2 studs, and you got to fit that header in there. I normally hit it with a jab saw, my vibrating saw, to get a square cut, 5.5 inches on one side, 5.5 inches on the other side, and then put the header in there. Vibrating saw broke. Got to put another blade on it and use my reciprocating saw to cut straight in there. Okay, now we're in for the good stuff. We're gonna make the header for this window. I got everything up right here. You can see, oh man, I guess I got my, is that me or is that, okay, yeah. All right, so I put the double 2x4 right here going up, but one of these is going to turn into a cripple, which is the inside. Cripple is the little piece that actually blocks the hold up. Like this is a cripple, that's a cripple. So this exact same thing has to be done at the top part of the window, but I'm using 6 inches, 2x6s. So this is a 36-inch spread right here for the window, a 36-inch spread. So now I measure 54 inches up, which is the rough opening, not the actual window size. The rough opening gives you a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch all the way around it. Check your window. This is a 1/4 inch gap rough opening. So 54 inches up from here and 54 inches up from there. I'm gonna measure and line and mark with the heck is it, with the square. Then 5.5 inches from that mark, I'm gonna mark across again, because the 2x6 is actually 2 by 5.5. So I'm gonna do that right now. The rough opening is gonna be 36 inches, 36 inches, 36 by 54.5 high. So when you get your 54.5 and you line it, make sure the gap between these two is still 36 inches, because when you're putting all this extra framing up, you might have moved it a little bit. So I'm gonna go 54 inches up high, then I'm gonna mark it. 54 inches, I'm gonna mark it, that's the rough opening. Do the same thing on the other side. Then I'm gonna measure in the middle to make sure that's 36 inches right there. See what I'm getting at right here? There's the 54 inch, there's the 54 inch. From the bottom, I did measure in between, it is still 36 inches, so that means everything's good. So from this line up, I'm measuring 5.5, because this chunk right here is actually going to be cut out, because this is what the header is going to rest on, and then the header is going to get nailed into this one right here. But the reason why I put this one in first is to make sure I stood constantly on the money. So this one and this one is constantly on the money. Then I'm going to cut this out. But before I cut this out, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure I got some good tacks inside of these. See, there's no tacks on this side, so I'm going to get some good tacks inside of these for the cripples. And then I'll cut this little bit out right here. Okay, so that's what's gonna get cut out for the header right there. And right there is gonna get cut out for the header. They're exactly the same measurements, but I'm gonna tack some probably 2.4 for the cripple, 2.4 for the cripple. Then there's gonna be 2 more cripples right here, 2 more cripples right here, and then 1 in the middle. And this extra cripple gotta be because 16-inch center is right here in the middle of the air. So, but the good thing is all those extra little pieces of 2x4 from the tops, I could use that for the cripples. Okay, so since my vibrating saw took a crap on me, I'm not going to buy another one right now. I'm going to use my Sawzall, Harbor Freight Sawzall. To switch the blades, you have to twist this. You can see, you twist this to switch the blades. I'm gonna be a nice crunchy, crispy, general purpose blade, and that's what I'm gonna cut those 5.5-inch little pieces out with. Then I'll start making the header. They're Warrior bimetal blades 5-piece. Get this. This is a general purpose blade that could cut through I-beams or 4x4s. This is for wooden nails. This one's for thick metal, medium metal, and thin metal. This is general purpose I'm gonna use. I don't know if you're gonna see, I'm not cutting through both of them, making sure I'm not cutting through the back one. I'm just cutting through the front one right here. Oh, the blade's gonna be too short. I gotta do half and half. Let me see. Yeah, the blade's gonna be too short. I gotta do half and half. Got a nail in the back, that's why it's not coming out. Close enough for government standards, and to see it's a little bit above the line, all you use the chisel to get your exact fit. And that's where your header is gonna sit. I know I got a little bit nick into the 2x4, but that's not gonna matter because the 4x4 is good. The 2x6 is gonna be nailed right into it. I just gotta back that nail off right there. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side, and that's what the header is gonna sit on. Just as I suspected, should be right around 39 inches right here. This is actually 39.25 inches. I was thinking it was gonna be 39, so I'm looking at about 39.25 inches, which should not be. This should be 39. This is a little bit over 36. Okay, so 39 is what I'm gonna cut it at. 39.1/8 is what I'm gonna cut it at. Not the quarter, 39.1/8. Okay. Now why you need a 1/2-inch piece of plywood is because that's about 3 inches right there. That's just this 3.5 inches right here. 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. So a 2x6 is actually 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches plus 1.5 inches, because you need 2 of them, is 3 inches. So you need the other 1/2 inch as a filler in between the joists. Okay, I already got the cut joist for the header. Got my 2x6s right here, but I wanted to show you because I was off on my measurement. I said 3.5/8. You need a 1/2 inch plywood. You need 3/8 inch plywood. 3/8 inch plywood, because that's gonna be your 2x6s plus your 3/8 inch plywood, and that's making 3.5 inches. And if you see a 2x4, what it's going to be nailed against, 2x4, what am I looking at right here? 2x4. That's, no, we're going this way. 2x4, that's going to be about 3.5 inches. And this is what this is going to be nailed in between. So it's 2x6, 2x6, and 3/8 inch board. So the 3/8 inch board is going to get nailed in between. Now I know my 2x6s I need for my opening are 39.1/8. So I'm gonna cut these at 39.1/8, and then I'll be right back with you. In all my videos, it makes a huge difference the side you cut on. That measurement is 39.1/8, but it's a little bit past the 1/8. So this one I can actually cut on the line to make it at 39.1/8. But you gotta see what side of the board you're gonna use, because depending upon what line you cut, what side of the line you cut, and what board you're going to be using, it might be too long or too short. I know I'm using this side of the board, and at 39.1/8, if I cut right on the line on this one, it'll give me 39.1/8. but if I cut before the line, it's gonna give me too short. If I cut on this side of the line, it'll give me about 39.25. So you gotta always pay attention to how accurate your line is drawn and what side of the board you're gonna need, so you know what side of the line you're gonna cut on. All right, I'm no carpenter by trade, so before I put this in and go any further, I'm gonna try it. Oh, look at that. See, it's a little bit off right here and a little bit off right there. Let me tell you this, nobody's gonna see that. That's gonna be under the outside and under the sheathing. What you're worried about is this right here being supported and this right here being supported, and this from here to there to be from the top to the bottom to be your rough opening. So this is gonna be, actually, I need one more of these, and then I need the 3/8 inch sandwich between, and I can put this up. And before I hard nail it in, I'm gonna shimmy it and adjust it around. Okay, this is the 3/8 inch plywood that's gonna get sandwiched in between the board. So basically I just put the piece I need on there, trace it out and cut it out, and that's 3/8, and it's gonna go in between both of these. I do have liquid nail, probably gonna liquid nail it and then just hit it in with a nail gun. This is pretty insane, but I am pretty cheap. So with the caulk gun, I didn't use the whole tube. I actually got a zip tie and a piece of plastic, and that's gonna save that tube for me because I am gonna use it the rest of this week. All right, either way, that was how to use a caulk gun. Let me nail in this header. Subscribe to my channel, YouTube, Trev2323. All right, that's as square as square could be. Only reason why I'm hitting it on here is because I'm using a nail gun. If I was hitting it with regular hand and nail, I would actually go ahead and put it on the ground. I'm out of nails. Dang it. Get the drift. Alright, so I got my header. Trying to carry up this here and record. So it's kind of sucky. Okay. One side in right there. Alright, not too far in to try to even it in together. There. See? I gotta go get a hammer and I gotta get it in place because I'm not gonna be able to do it by hand. All right, perfect on this side, perfect on that side, a little wonky on this side. See, it's about 1/8 of an inch out there, but on top 1/8 of an inch out right here. Wasn't a perfect cut. I'm not a master craftsman. Get it kind of where you could live with and then go from there. If it sticks too far out on the outside, you're just gonna buckle on your framing. If it's too far on the inside, you can kind of shave it down a little bit in the drywall to make sure it goes in there right. But also your framing is going to be on the outside for the window, so this is where shims come in really good. But either way, that's the header right there. I'm going to shoot some nails in right here, about 4 or 6 nails right here, 4 or 6 nails on the other side. Then I got to do cripple. So there's 3 cripples that I need right here that I'm going to cut. I'm going to hit a nail, about 6 nails, 3 right here, 3 on this side, 3 on the other side, 3 on this side, this right here. Then I'm going to do the cripple, 2 cripples, and I need another cripple down there. I'll go over it with you at the end. All right, I hit the nails in. That's just framing the header. There's the nails right there, and that's holding the 2x6 header up. And you see why I had the top part. I did this beam first to get my measurements right on. Then I cut those out. Now that one's a little bit wonky. You know why it's wonky? Because when I hit it with a nail gun, I didn't hit it kind of on one bottom first and go to the opposite corner and make sure and hit it straight. I just went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I would have did it this corner and then opposite corner, it'd have been a little more straighter. Close enough for government standards. All I got is 5 more cripples and I'm done with that whole wall right there. Well, I still got to sheathe it and wrap it, but I'm gonna start taking this apart next because I'm gonna finish framing this thing right here before I sheathe the whole piece together. The last cripples I put in, nothing to do with bearing, 16 on center was dead space right here, dead space right here. I had to put in the cripples and I have to put them up top to fill in the dead space so I can actually hit the sheathing too and hit the drywall too. Dude, plan at least one day and double the wood you think you need for him in a window. It's done. Three cripples across the top. King stud, jack stud holding up the 2x6. Two double 2x4s, king stud, jack stud, 4 cripples, because at the bottom, oh man, I think I need to put extra cripple at the top. Oh, all right, because there's king stud and 2 cripples, king stud and 2 cripples. No, I'm good, I'm good. And the reason why is coming 16 inches on center from the back this way, it left dead space. So